The news, good evening. The ministry responsible for social affairs and the Ministry of Education have condemned what they call an irresponsible act by certain individuals who applauded, recorded, and shared the video depicting inappropriate behavior by children. The ministries responsible for social affairs and education said the video places children at risk of being sexually abused, and the Ministry of Employment and Social Affairs has pointed out that it has a legal mandate to protect children. Both ministries say they are taking concrete steps to identify the adults and the children in the video. The police are helping them, and officials have promised that they will take legal action if any offences have been committed in the making, filming, and distributing of the video. Club Med Seychelles was officially opened today after almost 1 month of operation. This 5-star all-inclusive hotel has branches all over the world and has opened its doors to tourism amidst a global pandemic. Several distinguished guests were invited, including President Wavel Ramkalawan and First Lady Linda Ramkalawan. It was, in fact, President Ramkalawan and the Club Med president, Henri Giscard d'Estaing, who cut the ribbon to officially open the hotel after an animation by the talented staffer. Mr. Giscard d'Estaing says he's very proud to have a branch of Club Med opened in such a beautiful country that has a good vaccination program and vows to continue to practice sustainable tourism. President Ramkalawan says the opening of the hotel means more publicity for Seychelles.
In the news, Seychelles, in the tourism world, Seychelles will be the headlines today. Club Med and Seychelles. So this means that the world will see Seychelles welcoming Club Med, and therefore this will entice other people to say, Seychelles is the destination I want to come to. So for us, as a country, we are proud to have welcomed Club Med. We are proud that Club Med chose to come to Seychelles. We see this as an opportunity for our Seychellois, as an employment opportunity. So I want to call on all Seychellois to take this opportunity seriously and to make Seychelles proud, to make Club Med proud.
Seychellois and other residents need to apply for an authorization to enter the country once they have traveled overseas, similarly to foreigners. This is through a platform on www.seychelles.govtas, whereby PCR test results are submitted along with passport details and vaccination certificate, if any. This platform has been in place since September last year for all travellers entering Seychelles.
They will need to go on our online platform, which is seychelles.govtas.com, and that's where they will need to get access for them to be able to complete those travel authorization procedures. So the documents that they will need, first of all, is their passport. It has to be a valid passport, of course, if you're traveling. Your PCR test and your vaccination certificate if you have been vaccinated, and you also need to have your debit or credit card because there will be a fee attached to this transaction, and at the moment that we are only accepting debit or credit card payment. Everything is very straightforward. As you go through the steps, in case you feel a bit confused or you don't know what to do, we have the chatbots that are 24-hour, 7 days a week. So even if you want to access it at 4 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., there's always that person that'll be ready to assist you through.
With COVID-19 cases on the rise in some countries, the Public Health Commissioner has announced some measures that are taking effect immediately. Among these measures, visitors from Pakistan, Bangladesh and India will not be allowed to enter Seychelles if they do not have a certificate of vaccination against COVID-19. The certificate should be verified by the Public Health Authority. Visitors from Brazil will not be allowed to enter Seychelles at all. The Public Health Authority says the measures do not apply to Seychellois or permanent residents who can travel, but they will need to be quarantined upon arrival in Seychelles in accordance with guidelines from the Public Health Authority. 81 new COVID cases have been detected since the last update on the 20th of April. 16 cases today have been released from isolation and discharged. The Seychelles Fishing Authority, the SFA, has reminded boat owners, fishermen, and processors of the importance of abiding to the catch certification system of the European Union. This was during the first meeting of the year between the SFA and these stakeholders. SFA's Chief Executive Officer, Nicole Elizabeth, says the meeting is to ensure that everybody is willing to abide by the regulations so as to move the industry forward.
There were some issues on compliance, some issues of the understanding of the full chain of custody between the boat owners, the buyers, processors and exporters. So we wanted to bring them all together, show the chain and the links and the importance to comply vis-à-vis the catch certification system that exists today under the IUU regulations of 2010. Generally speaking, most of the boat owners, they understand. There are some uncertain questions, but today we clarified, we made them understand that you cannot go outside the EZ of the Seychelles if you don't have a certificate of authorization. The authority is not put in the known. As we said, we don't want to hear that our vessels are now being put on the IUU list of vessels by the IOTC and other RFMOs. So we have to be careful and we have to notify them there's a risk and they have to comply in full. Vis-à-vis the VMS, we made them to understand that that's the backbone of the compliance today. Before leaving port, the VMS has to be operational and functional. And coming back to port, there's certain reporting requirements that they have to do before the catch certification is issued out to them, to give to the exporter to process the fish for exports.
The Truth, Reconciliation and National Unity Commission had only one open session today. This was a witness in the case of Joseph Edouard, who said that he was imprisoned for 9 months at the Grand Police prison in 1988. The witness, Joe Raguin, was the officer responsible for the search operation when Mr. Edward, along with a few other prisoners, escaped to Silhouette. Mr. Raguin said he got the tip from a resident of the island who later showed them where the prisoners were hiding. He gave his account of how things went down to surrounding the escapees, firing warning shots, and finally detaining them until they were put in the hands of the police. Tomorrow is World Earth Day, and the Environment Minister's plea to people is to help restore the planet. Minister Flavien Joubert says that we must build back better after COVID and conserve Earth's fragile resources. His message highlights how lockdowns during the pandemic have proved that nature can regenerate itself. This year's World Earth Day theme, Restore Our Earth, is a rallying call to reduce greenhouse emissions, use water wisely, and protect species from extinction. Mr. Joubert says the future health of the planet is essential both for everyone's livelihood and survival. And with this, we end this news summary. Thank you for watching.